Hey guys, and welcome to another video. I'm reviewing these episodes on the couch. So today I'm going to be reviewing Blood of My Blood episode 2. So as I've previously explained, Blood of My Blood is a prequel to Outlander. It's about Jamie's parents and Claire's parents, the love interests in Outlander. It's about their parents. So episode 1 ended with Claire's parents. So episode 2 entirely focused on them. We actually went forward into 1947. No. That's not right. 1914. And we focused, it starts off with World War I, and we get to meet who we assume is Claire's dad. And I recognized him. It took me a while to realize that he's the English guy that we met back in 1714, working for one of the clan, I think it's Clan Grant. And there's one of the people that Colum and Dougal are vying to try to get an alliance to support them when they become laird. So one of the Grant men, their like scribe kind of guy, is this English guy. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know that he was Claire's dad until we get to this episode, episode 2. And then eventually I realized that that was Claire's dad, that he's somehow also back in time and not with Claire's mom. So honestly, this was my favorite episode, and I really, really loved it. We get to see World War I. They, once again, have been extremely accurate with the history, like they always have. Outlander has been wonderful with all of the historical periods they've shown, from the Revolutionary War to the Jacobite Rebellion, all of that stuff. And so it really emphasizes like trench warfare and how World War I was like almost a complete disaster, in the sense that there was no ground gained, because it was just like, and so many people died, like, and the trench warfare was just not good. And, Claire's dad writes a letter just in general, and then we jump to the secretary office where her mom is actually like the one who reads letters, and they block out anything that could potentially be dangerous information or whatever, and they send it out to whoever it goes to. So she gets this letter that wasn't addressed to anybody, and she reads it and decides to reply back because he's really depressed. I think his name is Henry, don't quote me on that. So he's really depressed, and she kind of encourages him, and so it starts this pen pal like relationship between the two of them, and it genuinely like does their romance so good. And I forgot to say this in the first episode, so I may have to do another clip of it. The scene with Jamie's parents meeting, they met in a barn once and they talked, and then that was it. And the next scene, they met at a bridge, and for some reason they're super attracted to each other, and it's like it came off as this really cheesy Romeo and Juliet love at first sight kind of romance that has no emotional connection, and Outlander's never been that way. For all of like the spice or whatever, that's not necessary. They've always had where there's an emotional connection between the love interest, and the romances are actually done very well. And that's the precedent that Outlander has set, and it was really disappointing, but I was holding out for hope that Jamie's parents would get to know one another. So in episode 2, when we have Claire's parents having this pen pal relationship, they build an actual emotional connection first, because they don't see each other. And she becomes this hope of him in a time when he is going through World War I. He is so depressed, he doesn't see the point in fighting or even living anymore. And they get to know one another, and they develop this relationship until eventually they can meet, and they do hit it off, and they build a relationship together. And it's actually really fun and special, and I really, really loved this episode. I really feel like it built Claire's parents very, very well, which honestly, in a weird way, on the flip side, made me more concerned about Jamie's parents, because they came off as a cheesy romance that was not written very well. And yet it's like, okay, well, clearly you can write a good romance well, because you're doing it with Claire's parents, so why are you not doing that for Jamie's parents? Like, give us an emotional connection here. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and it was really concerning. So I would say that was probably one of the negatives about episode 1. I forgot to mention in my review of it, which I may go back and film an additional segment, or you can just put this in that one, I don't know, whatever. But either way, it bothered me, because the ending of the episode was like where she was visiting with Brian, Ellen was visiting Brian, and went missing, and it caused all of this drama, and she was already like, it was weird, because they barely knew each other. Like, they've had 2 conversations with each other, and they're already like you know, being really overly dramatic with their lines and trying to be together, and it's just really weird. But episode 2 was really good, and again, I feel like it was a little worrisome in a way, because I was like, okay, are they gonna do Claire's parents better than Jamie's parents, when like the whole, like, obviously Claire's parents is still a huge focus of the show, but like I expected the show to be more focused on the romance between Jamie's parents. So I loved episode 2. It left me really interested for episode 3 and hopeful that, okay, well, Claire's parents have this really good romance, so Jamie's parents are going to as well. And so I also found it really poetic that Claire's mom goes through the stones, and they had a car accident, which we know Claire's parents died in a car accident when she was 5, and she was raised by her uncle. So it implies that they never made it home. And so then I'm like, okay, like, that's kind of scary. And Claire's already born at this point. So the mom goes through, they have the car accident. They're wandering in the wilderness. Claire's mom goes through the stones. The dad shortly follows her, but by then she's already been taken to the castle where we know Brian's dad is, and Brian is, that castle. And so doesn't know where she is, and then it kind of fills in the gaps of how he got in with the Grant clan, and the only reason why he agreed to work with them was because they would be traveling and he would have more of a chance to try to find Claire's mom. And I thought that was really cool. And so it kind of shows that like he's playing a part. So like the charming, kind of slightly sarcastic Englishman, like the confident, like not quite arrogant Englishman that we've gotten to know is kind of more of a persona, and we know how he really is, and that he's 100% just focused on finding Claire's mom. And I thought it was so sweet, and their romance is really sweet. Another scene that I liked before they went through the stones, I forgot to mention, was when they get to know each other, and they finally got to meet, and so they ended up staying together, and he has a PTSD attack in bed, and she actually helps him through it, and it's so realistic from Shell Shock, what was called Shell Shock at the time. And it was such a good scene, and I feel like they portrayed it so well, and it actually, again, emphasizes that emotional connection, because she's like his hope. She is what grounds him, and so it makes you feel for him even more after losing her because of that, and it's so precious. So honestly, I loved episode 2. It was a 5-star episode. It was so good. What did you guys think of the episode and Claire's parents and stuff? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you liked my review of this episode, stay tuned for my review of episode 3. It'll be here.